All right, it's Monday evening. Making my way to an onsen after most of the day walking around, sore muscles. Nothing better than an actual onsen. Found it thanks to Google AI. Google Gemini is a game changer for this trip. So it's 2026. I'm going to talk about, from my perspective, how Japan has changed from a limited spread over 23 years timeline from my perspective of this. So it's still, I think it's still an amazing country, amazing culture, and definitely the world can take a couple lessons from Japan on how to deal with things in crowded, dense populated areas. But when I first came here, 2003, not 100% if it was 2003 or 2004, I'm pretty sure it was 2003, and it was summer, because this heat, it's July right now, so this feels really familiar. It's tough. This is a tough month to go to Japan, but that's why probably why the tickets were cheap. So yeah, back in 2003, my still limited Japanese ability, a couple years in high school, and I didn't have a smartphone back then. There weren't really, so it was a couple years before the iPhone came out. But I went here in 2003. I actually was fortunate enough to do an internship at an American company that had an office here in Tokyo. And I just stopped by that company today. It's called Neolife, and it's a network marketing vitamin company. Amazing people there. And the woman who was, I believe, vice president or an executive, is now running is director of the company. It's just the sweetest, nicest person. I remember 23 years ago, her just welcoming me, to the group there, and on the weekends, I went with her to Shinjuku Park, and she helps give care to food and supplies to homeless people, a part of her church, and just really sweet, really great person. Couldn't have picked a better person to run that place. So I just stopped by there earlier today. Hadn't seen her in 13 years. I stopped by one of the various trips along the way in the last 23 years. And yeah, she recognized me. I recognized, it's like, yeah, just, anyways, it was magical. Neolife, thank you, Neolife. Now, when I went here 2003, the company gave me a cell phone, let me borrow a cell phone. And even back then, the thing had, I believe they were doing video calls in 2003 on mobile phones, like FaceTime. A couple years, again, before the iPhone. The phone had a screen on it that could project a barcode that you can tie in with your bank card, so you can use it to pay for things. And another thing I remember, this was an older phone too. This is like an older model that they loaned me. It had an infrared remote that you could program to open garage doors, to change channels on a television. That was 2003. So, all right, looking for the Moe no Harayu. Okay, I think I still have Yeah, it says about 14 more minutes. Okay, about 1 more mile. All right, let's go over here. So 2003, coming from growing up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area and Northern California, this city felt like it was 20 to 30 years in the future. It was yeah, there were things that just, yeah. Anyways, it was incredible. Visiting it today, it's different. A lot of it's mostly looks the same, feels similar, smells completely different, and sounds different. That's kind of the big takeaways here. But so this, and I checked with Google Gemini. I'm not imagining it. It's like, it definitely smells different in like last 20 years. The smell back then, there was more of the population that smoked cigarettes. And we walk by a construction site here. So, speaking of which, that was something I remember staying in Osaka on one of those early trips at kind of a really cheap place to stay. It was like literally like $10 a night for a single room. Cheap part of town. They were working on a street that was like hand-laid tile. It was kind of old and broken areas. Kind of a poor neighborhood. And they started work in the morning. I remember leaving my hotel, and they were finished by the afternoon. It was all, look, everything was replaced. It's like, it wasn't this, let's close the place down for a couple weeks, put signs up, redirect traffic. Like, no, they were done. They fixed it, got it working. It's efficiency out there, but I think this way. All right, so I'm coming here in 2003 with, I think my Japanese was better back then. I just haven't had an opportunity to practice it, and I still don't. But I remember having bringing a lot of cue cards, travel dictionaries, phrase dictionaries, just travel guides, and printed out maps, and somehow I still managed to. I mean, I definitely got lost. Share of being turned around, but it's somehow. I'll get back to that. The smell. So fewer people now, by like 15 or almost 20%, fewer Japanese smoke cigarettes these days in 2026 than they did 23 years ago. They've a certain population is obviously replaced it with vaping. They called heated tobacco products. But even then, very controlled. So far, it feels very controlled. I mean, like, I have not seen. Today I was walking to Ikebukuro station, and across the street they have one of those open air smoking boxes, and there were people in there smoking cigarettes, but you could not smell the scent. Whatever they're doing, it's amazing. It does not. It's a little. You can smell a little bit like standing right next to the complex, but when you're across the street, no, it's totally gone. Versus when I was here back then, waiting at a train station, it would smell like cigarettes. You'd see people lighting up. I don't think they were allowed to, but back then there was a regulation about we weren't allowed to like walk and smoke out there. So that's cleaned up. The smell of cigarettes, tobacco. It's good. It's a good thing. It's just it's a different smell around. I mean, it's actually kind of nice to smell like, more like food restaurants when you. Although that really doesn't have much of an odor either. I don't know. I might be coming down with a cold or something. It just does not smell the same. And sound-wise, it was already a quiet country. I mean, it was like coming from American perspective. Let's check the map. Yeah, still good. I'm definitely taking a taxi back to the station, or catch the bus. Smell-wise, diesel engines and the sounds. Though the diesel, that was part of the smell too. Yeah, the diesel engines, the gas-powered scooters, the 400cc limits. They had all these crazy, really cool motorcycles. I don't know if they still have that 400cc limit, but it's just like the exhaust from the diesel cars, the delivery trucks, utility vans, and then just the cars in general. Yeah, it's everything's hybrid and electric. It's quiet and it's clean. I cannot smell. I mean, that's, again, I'm either getting a cold or maybe worse. But I cannot, it's just air. It's just air. It's clean. It's fresh. It doesn't make sense that it could be in one of the most densest cities in the world. And it's cleaner than walking through, like, I don't know, a small city in the Bay Area, Danville, San Ramon, California, maybe Roseville, Rockland, if you're up by Sacramento. Yeah, it's amazing. So the smell, the sound, you don't hear engine noises. I don't hear engine noises as much. I don't hear cars constantly starting up and that diesel compression sound, and it's like scooters whizzing by, and it's like, no. Even downtown, like busy areas like Shinjuku, Shibuya, a lot of cars out there, but it's like Toyota. Look at Toyota's lineup these days in 2003. They had the Prius back then. That was 2003, 2004. No, 2003 was the first year. I think it was the second generation Prius. They might have gotten it a little earlier here, but they're hybrids that they were making. I think it was just starting up. Honda Insight was out. Electric cars really weren't a thing back then, other than like really small production city cars that could, might have a 20-mile range or something. Now it's like, well, almost every car in Toyota's lineup is a hybrid. So, and it makes sense that, the way gas prices have gone, it just, so it smells different, it sounds different. It is better because it's cleaner and it's quieter. But there was a certain, I don't know, there's a personality to the faults that it had back then that I kind of miss. Traveling back here on this nostalgic tour, stopping by all these places I first saw 23 years ago. It looks the same. It's almost like a VR virtual replica of these locations. It doesn't really, I close my eyes, it's like I could be standing anywhere. It doesn't really identify as like, So it's more like just, it's like I'm looking at a screen. Is the best way to explain it. and that and the fact that a lot of the buildings have been moved around, rebuilt, neighborhoods look completely different. So there's the iconic places, temples and such, that those places will never change. But yeah, could be a time of year maybe. But I'm pretty certain. First time I went here was in this summertime. Let's see here. All right, I am 6 minutes away. Let me make a right turn down here. All right, let's go POV. Yeah, this is just a little suburb of Tokyo. Okay, another thing, accessibility. So I remember seeing, before I left, there was a trending video that was making its rounds around Japan enthusiasts in the last couple months about this craze of this rise of graffiti and the just Japanese culture. There's mutual common respect and decency is degraded and kind of falling apart. I don't. I don't feel like I have enough experience, knowledge to weigh in on that. But for just that being said, the places that I've seen, it looks as clean as ever. I have not. It could be different parts of town, is when they're talking about certain areas of bridges and underpasses or whatever, like signs and that's but I mean, this is like suburb of Tokyo. I wouldn't say this is like a super expensive neighborhood, but of course Tokyo is really expensive, but this isn't, this probably isn't like, this is about maybe middle class. It feels kind of average. I mean, it's kind of a commute to downtown, the areas and everything. So, and look, I mean, that wall is, stained with some kind of soot on it, but it's like these walls they're totally clean out there. So there's nothing. There's no markings, no spray paint, no trash. That's still a thing. That's still something I just I have the hardest time wrapping my head around, understanding that. How is a country with this many people and this few trash cans have really no trash to speak of? Look at this little piece of paper on the ground. It's a receipt. There was another little piece of paper there, but you don't. And with vending machines everywhere. I mean, there's, they're selling drinks and sodas, millions of those things a day, and setting up right next to it is like the tiniest little, recycle trash can that sometimes they're full, but then you just go find the next one and hold on to your drink, and then, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of makes you think that this is why we can't have nice things in America. I think the robo-taxi industry is going to catch on here first. And let's see here. I mean, this is a country that could definitely, I think, respect something like a self-driving car, quiet taxi, personal robotic ride. I mean, it's like they pioneer everything else in robotics, and pretty much. I mean, I think they're working on actual human replacement of robotics out there to care for the aging population. I've heard that in the past. So looking back, has Japan changed? Yes, it feels, to me, it seems a lot different. Some things for the better. I mean, all things pretty much, I couldn't tell you like something that was like, everything's for the better, but it's different. And it's, the only bad part of it is I feel like I'll never experience what I experienced. This is like a Home Depot. Viva Home. That's cool. I'll never have access. That's the thing. To, where am I going? We got left up here. Never have access to that Japan that I knew, that I got to know. But it could have been, I mean, yeah, it could have been the fact that it was the first time, and you know, you can't, kind of everything else, you know, like you're never gonna have that first time experience again. But I mean, there's places like in the Bay Area that in California that I remember growing up there and going back to 40 years later, almost that, and recapturing that experience of, you know, going to the Safeway I used to shop at when I was like, you know, go there with my mom and I was 10 years old, and it just, until they tear it down. Yeah, I mean, like, kind of, I don't know. It's progress, though. And again, it's better because it's cleaner, it's quieter, but AI and technology, I feel like it's taken the risk out of travel, which again, it sounds great. It is to some extent, but there was a feeling, and maybe that's what it's lacking other than the scents and smells. There was a feeling of excitement more. You know, I mean, traveling here and hoping that I don't, you know, make a wrong turn or something like that, and it just get on the wrong train or get on the wrong bus, be out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of exciting though, and you know, had to interact and forced to interact and use the language and practice. Honestly, now, I mean, yeah, there's, I think I'm here. I mean, I would never have been able to find this place that I've yet to find right now, but that might be it actually. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. I would have never been able to find that place. This onsen, actual onsen in Tokyo, next to a McDonald's 23 years ago, unless, well, it's like having AI, it's like having access to local knowledge, kind of a local expert. So that it's nice. This is, but it's a slippery slope because you can rely on it so much, though. Well, yes, the thing is, it is improving this trip. I mean, to find this place, and this is a restored. This building goes back to like 1949 or something like that. It was an old house converted to, like, I've got the history of it. Got the pricing. Forgot the name of it though. But, so what is this called? The Mae no Hara Onsen Sayano Yudo Kore. That's the name. Yeah, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna rest for several hours and just take it easy and have an experience that I wouldn't have had access to unless I, you know, get to know a local here. But solo traveling, AI is a game changer. But I don't know. I kind of miss the. I still would prefer. I mean, like getting to know locals and hearing like what their thoughts of like, oh yeah, you got to check out this place or this restaurant is amazing. But I feel like AI, I could find probably. I don't know how accurate it feels like close to like 80, at least 80%. If I ask AI in this area, when I was in Ikebukuro, basically it started like this. What's the best onsen near Ikebukuro that I could rest sore muscles? And it listed 3 of them. This one seemed, I dug a little deeper and I was like, this one sounds perfect. Short, couple train rides away. Could have taken a bus here, but kind of wanted to get a little more exercise. And I made it. I could have asked somebody out there and they would have been, whether I would understand the answer is another question. But I feel like it just takes the risk off, and there's value in that risk out there. There's risk, there's no risk, there's no reward. So finding this place, I feel like it's a rewarding experience to find this place, but I feel like I kind of cheated on using AI to say like, just tell me where to go on this stuff. I mean, it's like, in a way, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like AI is turning, it feels like kind of a child traveling with their parent, and they don't want to get too far away because they rely heavily on that parent, but the parent's going to say like, oh no, you can't do this, you got to do this and everything. It's like, you should do this, and then they get used to that, and then I could see that kind of like codependent relationship, maybe. I mean, that's a dependent relationship, where you just like, I mean, it's like everything else in technology. I mean, the smartphones with cell phone numbers. I can't remember. I can barely remember my own cell phone number. Back in the decade called the 1990s, I could remember at least 5, maybe 10 phone numbers, and I was pretty quick in dialing those numbers too. The muscle memory of like where the keys were. But now it's I could barely. I mean, just say I want to call somebody, just say your phone, like call Dad, so and so, call someone. So it's like, and again, we kind of lost. Well, did we lose? Was that worth saving? Japan is an amazing place. I'm looking forward to maybe trying AI, traveling in some new places. Maybe that's what the best way for me to recreate that first time travel experience to a new country like this is to go to a new country these days. But it's going to be, I mean, I could just turn the phone off and go, phoneless in this country, but put myself into that, I don't know. It's tough. Once you get used to it, once you try it out, yeah. So I don't know. Yes, it's better because I think I'm getting more out of this trip. I could get more out of these 3 weeks than my 3-month trip that I spent here. One of those trips over the years, but it wouldn't be me. Like it wouldn't entirely. It doesn't feel entirely like self-created. Like the same thing with everything AI. Yeah, you could have AI write a song about something write a country song about your childhood, specifically events in your life. Well, okay, you had the events, you went through that, you know the information. AI did all the rest of the work for it. So whose composition really? How much work was done to create that? I mean, how much can you really take credit for? That's what it comes down to. So I feel like I asked AI a question and I got on the right trains and followed the directions and I made it here. I'm going to enjoy the product. There's no question about that. It's an amazing place. I love Onsen, but it's like I didn't have a hand in kind of creating it or generating it. And that's something like, you know, I mean, maybe it's like a little pride in that ownership of it. So anyways, that's some thoughts. And I'm gonna go in here and have a nice soak. And maybe they have Wi-Fi, fast Wi-Fi. I'll upload this video. But I want to thank Google Gemini for helping me find this place. And that's about it.